Hello. So today I wanted to do a video on basically bringing together all of the different sort of principles and teachings from the New Thought authors, including Neville, because a lot of them say exactly the same thing. And the more you sort of read and delve into these subjects, the more you see the threads running through them all. And the fact that these are sort of practical methods that you can apply to your own mind, to your own consciousness, to your own beliefs, and then use them to sort of transform circumstances in your life. So with that, here are a few principles of all of these teachings. So people like Joseph Murphy say, and pretty much all the New Thought authors say, fill your mind with the consciousness of the absolute. So several times a day, sit in silence and focus your mind on oneness, on the absolute, of the totality of everything in the world, which you are at your core within. So it's almost getting in touch with this divine power and this divine presence within us. This is to be done several times a day because what we're doing is impressing the subconscious mind. So filling your consciousness with this is you're almost filling your consciousness with the fact that you have this power within you. So another principle is know that all things are connected, that at the deepest level of mind, everything is connected. All minds are connected. Everything is just a sea of energy. We know this in quantum physics. Everything is energy and everything is connected. So even though it looks like everything is separate, at the deepest fundamental level of who you are, everything is connected. So Reverend Dyke called this visualization prayer treatment, but prayer or focused intention is consciously getting in touch with the divine in your consciousness, within yourself, thinking of the highest, the feelings of love, joy, abundance, creating that focused intention, because what that's doing is getting in touch with that as an energetic possibility. I've put in my notes, when praying, hold the vision, feeling of the person as whole, complete, abundant, healthy. This is not just a wish. This is energetically using our thought power to manifest a reality where this person is healed and healthy, because it exists in the quantum, in the realm of the absolute, which is our true reality when you get down to the very nature of reality. That exists as a possibility. So by going there in our consciousness, we are focusing our energy and attention towards that outcome. And we are also implanting it into our subconscious mind. So you've probably heard this a lot, where attention goes, energy flows. So our attention is so powerful. Our attention is our power. And all the New Thought authors, basically, that's what they teach. They teach of how to consciously direct our attention, because it's actually not the external world that creates. We're creating from the inside. So I put here, remove your attention and remove its power. So consciousness is like a light in a dark room. So we can imagine a torch in a dark room, and we're placing our focus on something, and we're saying, oh, that exists. Then we can shift our attention to something else, and we can say, oh no, that exists, and that's what's being shown to us. I put, if we focus on light, wholeness, we don't have any darkness at all. So if we're focusing on the totality of everything, we're kind of welcoming that in as a reality, because we are part of that oneness at our core. We are an individual, but we're also a whole. So that's what the New Thought authors taught, is getting in touch with the source, basically, the source that lives within us. So this follows on from my last point. A lot of the New Thought authors, well, all of them, talk about identification with perfect oneness, and they call that God usually. But by focusing on the good, the true, the beautiful, peace, harmony, abundance, by filling your mind with these really beautiful thoughts and believing that that's who you are, that energy, that loving, beautiful energy, that's who you are at your core. And no matter what you've done, your ego might have made mistakes, your personality self might have made mistakes, but when you were born, that's who you are. You are source consciousness. And they all talk about going back to that source and identifying yourself with that, as that's who you truly are. So even though we can make mistakes and we're not perfect as humans, we are actually at our core spirit, and that's where we create from, is our spirit. So if you're into manifestation and all of that sort of stuff, you'll know that self-concept is the thing that everybody talks about, is changing the feeling of I am. Neville Goddard says this, and again, all the New Thought teachers say this, and it kind of follows on from my earlier point, which is knowing the power of I am. So whatever you attach to I am, you become. So whether you say you can do it or whether you say you can't do it, as Henry Ford says, you're right. So this is how powerful we are. We have this amazing river. I like to imagine it like a river. An amazing power that is running through us all the time. And we're imprinting it. So imagine our thoughts are like ink and our feelings are like ink, and we're imprinting it all the time. So if we're identifying with not good enough, not worthy, all of that sort of thing, your subconscious mind says, oh God, source says, okay. But when you can identify with the highest, that's what you're impressing your subconscious mind with. It doesn't have a bias, it will just follow your instruction. So the feeling is the secret to alignment. So I just spoke about the I am, and when you have a feeling, I am healthy, or I am abundant, or I am capable, that is a completely different feeling to its opposite, right? And so our feelings are what kind of drives creation, and it is the secret to alignment. Neville Goddard said the feeling is the secret. And Joseph Murphy says you'll know if you've aligned with what you want by a feeling of peace. That is when the two have agreed. So you've been impressing your subconscious mind with maybe a feeling of I am capable, and maybe you didn't believe it at first, but you carried on. I am capable, I am capable, I am capable. And then after a while, you had a feeling of peace. And that feeling is like an energetic knowing. And it's just a feeling in your body that you just know, I am capable. And that's when you know that you've aligned with that thought and you're expressing it. And your action then aligns with it as well. So another principle is belief. Believing is everything. So as I said earlier, whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, you're right. Believing that we have access to an infinite well of abundant power within is a prerequisite for being able to do any of this stuff, because if you believe that you are your flesh and bones and you're a very limited individual with virtually no power at all, and you're very small and you're not very capable, and you don't have a divine self, or you don't have a strong infinite spirit within you, river running through you, if you don't feel that and you don't believe that, then it's going to be more difficult for you to access it. So this is one of the foundational steps, really, is to believe that this thought power, that your power you've got of your mind, of your feelings, is real. And you can use it, and you can focus it by focusing your attention in the right direction. So Joseph Murphy says this: become indifferent to the problem. Why does he say that? Because all the New Thought teachers teach that reality is created from the outside, from the inside out, sorry, not the outside in. So by becoming indifferent to the problem, we're not spiritually bypassing, we're not denying our feelings about it. We can fully feel those feelings, but then we can say, this is a reflection, and I'm going to go back to the source. So I'll take an example of something that everyone's talking about right now. Let's say a problem is TikTok's going to get banned, and we're focusing on, oh my God, I don't want this to get banned. This can't get banned. What if I lose my platform? What if I lose all my followers? What if? We're focusing our attention on what we don't want, and we are feeling perhaps fearful or anxious, instead of focusing on the feeling, all is well. It's fine. Still got the platform. Everything's going to be okay. And that is a challenge. I've definitely been tested on this, but it gets easier with practice, because then you start, once you've done it a few times, you realise, oh, actually, I am creating from the inside out, so it's fine. You can do it. So Neville says your imagination is God. You've probably learned about the science of visualization, visual mental rehearsal. There's lots of science on it. Check out Dr. David Hamilton, that actually visualizing and going through something in great detail actually affects the outcome. Neville went one further and said your imagination is God, the source, is everything. So that's where everything is created from. So to change anything, we need to go into our imagination. And I've shared many videos on here about how he uses that, especially to go into sleep, by conditioning your imagination. So yeah, that's a fundamental principle as well. So this one is an interesting one. By surrendering, you become more self-expressed, not less. So many people think, especially when you hear Neville and it says, put off the former conversations and die to the old man and die to the ego self and the personality self, and you're sort of surrendering to your desires. You actually become more self-expressed, because what you're doing is basically allowing yourself to be who you are and have the things that you truly love and have the life that you truly love, because you acknowledge that that is a possibility for you in imagination, and all you need to do is energetically come into alignment with it in your identity, in your self-concept, in your conception of who you are. What have I said here? You're more expressed. You're allowing desires to be birthed, come forth without resistance. You're allowing yourself to have what you love. So yeah, I hope this helps.